Hey, all right, everybody. Welcome to episode 22 of the MURF and EDUBBS show. Number 22, special number to some, not to others. Waiting for EDUBBS to chime in over here. Looks like he's about to call in, and so we can start the show. This is our Hump Day edition of the MURF and EDUBBS show, episode 22. EDUBBS, you there, pal?
What's up, Murph?
Hey, E, we there?
Can you hear me?
All right, I don't know what's going on. Listen, E,
Hey, Murph, how you doing? Can you hear me?
I don't know what's going on there, bud.
Murph?
As you live.
You hear me? Hello?
Looks like we're having, as usual, some technical difficulties with the MURF and EDUBBS show. It says that EDUBBS, hold on. What do we got here? Mute.
Hey, Rich, you hear me? You hear me?
EDUBBS, you there, bud?
You hear me?
All right, I don't know what's going on. All right, let's see. Here he is again. All right.
Hey, Rich, how you doing, bud?
All right, E, you there, pal?
Here.
I don't know, E, if you could hear me, we may have to scrap this one for now, dude.
You hear me?
I don't know why you don't hear me.
I hear you.
Why I don't hear you. You there, bud? You there?
I'm here.
Now I hear you, dude. Now I hear you. Listen,
You hear me
E,
now?
nobody timed it. E, you hear me?
Yeah, you hear me?
I can hear you now, pal.
Great, I wonder what happened there. I don't know what happened.
I have no idea. I guess whatever. Like I said, it's 2
It's
minutes
so
of
typical. It's so typical. It works on Saturday, but it doesn't work today, right?
exactly. Yeah, nobody was listening to that. All right, listen. Let me go through my. Welcome to the episode 22 of the MURF and EDUBBS show. Episode 22. That means we've been doing it for at least 22 weeks and possibly more. It's been a long time, dude.
Yeah, and nothing really to talk about today, right, Rich?
Well, now listen. I just wanted to start off by saying that. Well, now look. Let me talk for a minute here about just something that happened in the last couple of days that really gotta tell you. And I've been reading it in the papers. I'm looking on Twitter, all over Facebook, and the entire country seems to be like getting involved in this. And and it seems to me like I mean. When the Netherlands beat the United States the other day, dude, I mean, I think I just felt like the whole country just like tear up. I mean, that's the big news, right? I mean, the big news is the United States is out of the World Cup. I mean, isn't everybody upset about that? I mean, that is the big news that we're talking about. I mean, look, I saw people on TV weeping that our soccer team wasn't going to be competing in the World Cup. I mean, it's like they lost to the Netherlands. Netherlands was a really good team, and the Netherlands is like they played really well. They attacked, and the United States they really just didn't even think that they were able to hang with them. I mean, what do you think about that? That is the big news you're talking about, right, dude?
Yeah. Well, to feed off that, Murph, the United States lost, and have you heard the word soccer?
Listen, I don't care. I knew I was going to trip you up on that one. I don't care about what happened the other night, the soccer game. I'm just trying to trip you up to see how you would handle that.
But Rich, honestly, before we switch, have you heard the word soccer the past 4 days?
Oh man, no, absolutely not. And that
Exactly.
just goes to show.
And one more thing. Will you hear the word soccer until 2026?
I don't know. Probably not. Well, you might. I mean, because you know what it is. I think this the big star there, the guy from Portugal. There, did you hear what happened with him?
No, what happened?
I guess they benched him or something. Because I don't know. I guess they benched him. I guess for reasons unbeknownst to me. I have no idea. I guess he did something detrimental to the team. I don't know. Maybe somebody could hear. But he left his team and he's going to go. He's like a free agent now. And he's going to sign for like hundreds of millions of dollars. But that's probably going to be a big story when you hear about. And plus, I think what's his name's retiring soon. Messi is retiring soon, I think too. So I don't know, man. Whatever.
So you said free agent signing for hundreds of millions of dollars, right?
I did, and I think that was a good segue into Now, I've been telling you guys for weeks that Judge is going to sign, dude. I don't know what you guys were so scared of. I was like, listen, he's not going to San Francisco. I keep telling you this
What?
all the time. He's not going to
What?
San Francisco. I have been
Rich,
telling you this for weeks, and
Rich.
every single time you guys say, listen, Rich, you're crazy. I was like, dude, he's staying with the Yankees. I don't, you guys are crazy. I don't know what you guys
Wait
are
a
talking
second.
about.
Rich, did you have some ayahuasca for dinner or something like that? I mean, you were the one. Oh, his wife wants to stay in San Francisco. Oh, he wants to stay in San Francisco. He's from the Bay Area. The wife's going to control him. Oh, this. Oh, that. Rich, you were the one all along 100% saying he would sign in San Francisco.
I don't know, man. Maybe it was the ayahuasca. I'm just breaking balls. You know what though? It's good. The way I feel though, listen. I did think he was going to leave. And maybe it sounded like it was kind of like it was last minute there was I guess the San Diego Padres were trying to get in there on the action, trying to give him $400 million. I mean, it's
Well,
the Yankees, man. Listen, they
the
did it.
media the media played it up, Rich. I mean, he was at the Buccaneers game on Monday night. Great comeback by Tom Brady. I don't think we have enough time to talk
Oh,
about football tonight, but he was at the game. Nestor Cortez was at the game. Judge and Cortez are good friends. Anthony Rizzo's a good friend of Judge as well. So he has a conversation with Brady, and the media is
no, wait.
playing it up.
You
Like,
said you don't want to talk. I'm sorry. You just said you said you don't want to talk about real quick. When I texted you the other night, I
yeah,
was down by 22 points in our fantasy league. Tom
wow.
Brady came back and knocked out 40 points for me, and I won in our fantasy league because I was so like, what the hell is going on? 15 points going in the fourth quarter. Thank you, Mr. Tom Brady, for giving me a W on the fantasy week. I'm sorry I had to cut you off, Eric, but it's a little bit of hodgepodge tonight, because we are going to talk about Judge. We are going to throw in a bunch of other things too. But thank you, Mr. Brady, for giving me 40 points and a win on our fantasy football. Anyway, go ahead.
And I must say, my son Benjamin is kicking ass in that league, Rich. He's getting like 200 points a week. And check out his roster. How the hell did he construct this roster? It's crazy.
I was looking at his roster the other day. You know what it is? And good for this guy too. Good for Geno Smith. Geno Smith's playing out of his mind. So he's giving him point after point, and the kid's been playing well too. So
Yep.
it is good for him. He may win. You
Yeah.
Weisfelds are both you guys are kicking ass in that league. So
Yeah, so back to Tom Brady. He had a conversation with Judge. Now, Judge had a conversation with Stephon Curry the other day. So Curry, Judge, and possibly Brady playing the 49ers next year. So there was this whole link that Judge is locked with the Giants because he spoke to Brady, and Brady told him that he's going to come to San Francisco next year. So you're going to have Brady, Judge, Curry, the trio in San Francisco. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen.
yeah,
You know what? I feel sorry for the San Francisco Giants fans. The San Francisco Giants fans were lied to, Rich. And you know what? All those fans that invested in season tickets because they were promised by the general manager, promised that Aaron Judge would be coming to the Bay Area.
yeah,
Crazy.
but you know what? Listen, if you're somebody that's sitting out there in the Bay Area and goes out and you spend all your money on season tickets for the possibility of Aaron Judge to be coming to out to San Francisco, shame on you, dude. That's just a dumb purchase. Unless the guy signs the contract, then you buy the tickets. But if you're one of those guys out there that says I want to be the first to get it, like John Heyman, the first one to break the story. All these people, maybe maybe they were lied to. But you know what though? Until that guy signs on the dotted line, you go out there and spend thousands and tens of thousands of dollars on tickets that now look, is San Francisco going to be a good baseball team? They're going to claw back, and you know how San Francisco gets. But if you think and have an inkling that Aaron Judge was coming to your baseball stadium and you went out and spent tens of thousands of dollars on on season tickets, I think that's shame on you.
Now, Rich, I heard Gabe Kapler on the radio last night coming home. I heard Aaron Boone on the radio coming home. I mean, these guys, they didn't know what was going on. There was just so much going on. Judge flew to San Diego yesterday from Tampa, meeting with his boy Nestor Cortez, and so I kind of had the feeling that Judge was going to sign with the Yankees. But you know what, though? This whole thing with John Heyman yesterday with the arson judge and getting the information, and there's a reputable woman who writes for the San Francisco Chronicle, and she actually said that Judge was coming there. So it looked like a done deal, but then I felt like as long as this drags on and on and on, there's something else going on. And who knew that the Padres were going to jump in this? And the Padres offered $40 million more. So Judge actually took less money to plant his legacy in New York, where he's been He's going to be captain, Rich. It's going to happen any day now.
I mean,
He's going to be captain.
that has to be the next conversation that's got to be spoken to in Judge's camp. It's like, listen, you're in a long list of people that are very important to the Yankees organization. What is he? 31? Is that how old he is?
Judge is 30. He'll be 30.
Okay. Well, listen, he's going to be with the organization for a very long time, and to make this kid captain right now would be the icing on the cake for this big contract. Now, just before we start, let's talk about just his contract before we start talking about length and everything.
Okay.
Now,
let me talk about the contract. Yeah, let me talk about the contract, Rich. So back in April, it was $213 million for 7 years. Now it's $360 million for 9 years. So you know what? He had the season. He bet on himself, and he won basically. But you know what? When the Steinbrenners want that guy, I mean, how many guys have the Steinbrenners lost in the past? You know what? They got CeCe Sabathia. They got Garrett Cole. They got every guy they go after. They got Mike Mussina. Every guy they go after, they get. So they weren't going to let Judge go. The only thing with Judge was this magazine article that came out. Was it Time or Sports Illustrated Athlete of the Year, whatever? And he was bashing Cashman. Now, what Cashman did, Cashman came out with that $213 million back in April, said how could he turn it down, blah, 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 basically that. And the thing with that is that when Jeter was negotiating his contracts, Jeter wanted everything confidential, and Steinbrenner kept it confidential, basically. So the way that Cashman, so the way that Cashman released the money to 213, so it was kind of wrong, and that's why there was so much animosity this year. The cryptic messages, all that stuff, with Judge coming. Is he coming? Is he going? But you know what? At the end of the day, Rich, he knew it's baseball over the money. Basically, he's got his legacy here.
Now listen. Now look. Let's look from from another perspective of this. Now,
and another thing, Rich. Let me. One more thing, Rich. 10 years, whatever. Okay, so speak to me in 2031. Okay, this is for now, Rich. The Yankees' window now is about 3, 4, 5 years. The window's a little bit more open than the Mets window, which we'll talk about later with these older pitchers and stuff. But I think that, you know what? If Judge gives you 3 to 5, if you win 2 World Series of this 10 years, it's a success. That's my feeling. That was going
to be my question to you. Like a big contract like that. Like, all right. Let's look at Garrett Cole for a second here. Is Garrett Cole living up to his contract in your eyes as a Yankee fan?
Garrett Cole's doing his job. I mean, you can't ask him to go out and win 20 games. You can't ask him to win 20 games every year, right?
No, I'm not saying that. The point I'm making is now, I'm not one of these guys that say, listen, all these guys out there that are saying, oh, they're giving him too much money or this, that, and the other thing. It's first off, it's not your money. It's not our money. So,
exactly.
I guess we could all play Monday morning accountant, but none of us have billions of dollars in our bank account to go out and sign free agents or be on these meetings. But at the end of the day is, whatever. We just hope that as a matter of fact, we should hope that our teams would spend money. So for you to say, like, I wouldn't give him a 10-year deal or 9-year deal, that's fine. But you know what, though? That's be realistic. And those are the deals that are coming out now. I think what the conversation has to be had with a lot of these guys and a lot of these owners is, okay, for you to give somebody that amount of a deal, we know that Aaron Judge, year 5, 6, is not going to be Aaron Judge of this year or the next 3 years. So what do you think that he has to do to fulfill his bargain to become, say, you know what, though? He did his job. He made all the money possible. And you know what, though? He brought us a World Series, or he got another batting title, or maybe he hit 69 home runs, or maybe he beat Barry Bonds in the Bronx. Like, what is it for you as a Yankee fan to say, you know what? All right, that contract was definitely worth it.
I'll take 2 championships, Rich. That's it. Just give me the World Series. We haven't won a World Series since 2009. Every year, let's go for number 28. And you know what? It's been unsuccessful. So you know what? Bringing this guy, you didn't make the team better. The team's not better. The team's the same as it was.
That's the point I was making.
Right. It's the same team that got swept by the Astros, the same team, but
the Astros got better.
But if you didn't lose, if you lost Aaron Judge, you'd be worse than where you were against the Astros. And that's not saying much because you got swept by the Astros, so you'd still get swept by the Astros. But what I'm saying, though, having this guy in the lineup is still better than not having him in the lineup.
No, listen, you're 100% right. In no way, shape, or form. If any Yankee fan thinks that the Yankees shouldn't have done this because the contract is too long, or whatever their excuse is for thinking that they're the owner of the team or whatever it may be, but the Yankees had to make this deal. And and at the end of the day, that the point I was just going to bring up to you before, with all this stuff going on, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Now, it took a long time for Aaron Judge to sign this big contract, and that hung a lot of people out to dry out there. So the point I'm making is basically right now there were two people pretty much that were controlling the market. It was Jacob deGrom and it was Aaron Judge. Now I wouldn't say collusion, or I wouldn't say, why don't we string this out a little bit longer, so maybe in the long run some of our other guys will get some big contracts. So if Judge waits to kind of like winter meetings ish, maybe a lot of these contracts will come in because they are kind of setting the bar. Like DeGrom went, and listen, we'll get into DeGrom in a couple of minutes. I'm not gonna, I got a lot to say about him. But the two of those guys, do you think it took so long? Maybe in the back of like even their, even like their agents' mind, say, listen, why don't we hold out a little bit? Maybe let's see, like maybe other people could eat off this. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say, Eric?
Well, Rich, that's what being a free agent's all about. Free agent's not going to sign a contract 2 days after the season, I mean, look at the NFL and NBA. It's like it's free agent season. The guys got swiped up, but it's kind of like well after the season, basically free agency. Major League Baseball, it always waits till the winter meetings, Rich. And Aaron Judge has every right to negotiate with 29 other teams besides the Yankees in this process, basically. Could he have signed after the winter meetings? Of course. Look at all the guys that are still out there. Rodon's still out there, all these guys, which we'll get into later. But you know what, though, Rich? If he went to San Francisco, I wouldn't be angry because you know what? He would go home. Jacob deGrom left the Mets for Texas. That's a douchey move, basically, But
Before we start talking about him, go ahead.
If Judge went to the Red Sox, I'd be pissed. I would be pissed. If Judge went to the Astros, I'd be pissed. Amish Outlaw used the technology. He texted me the other day that Judge signed with the Astros. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? So the first thing I do is go on Twitter. That's how I get my stuff. But you know what, though? I'm happy he signed with the Yankees. I think it's a good move. The Yankees can move on now. There's some other moves to make and stuff like that. But you know what, though, fans? It's not your freaking money. Don't be so negative about everything, And you know what, though, Rich? It's the same fans that if Judge left, they'd be complaining. So if Judge left, they can be complaining. If Judge gets a 10-year contract, they can be complaining. They complain about everything, these people, Rich. They complain if they win the lottery. Oh, I didn't win enough money in the lottery. So people just are natural complainers. And you know what? I'm going to enjoy my Yankees next year. I'm going to enjoy Aaron Judge. Will he be batting first? Maybe not. But I'm going to really enjoy this. Judge's parents, they said they loved Jeter's parents going to Yankee games at Yankee Stadium. So you know what? They're going to be at Yankee Stadium watching their boy play. Does it matter if they live on the West Coast? He could buy a couple of private jets with that money for his parents, right? And like, Rich, I understand. He could live in San Francisco during the off season. That's where he's from. I mean,
San Francisco. That's a filthy city. Fuck San Francisco. What do you want to go to San Francisco for? Whatever. Fuck San Francisco. It's a filthy city. There's homeless people everywhere. It's almost worse than New York. You know what I mean? So whatever.
And last night when I saw Mitch Haniger sign with the Giants, and then you see the tweets going, but they're still in the Judge sweepstakes. Okay, gotcha. But the Padres sweeping in now, that's very strange because can you imagine the Padres payroll with Judge and Soto on the same team?
They just said something today about that the other day. I think that Soto, I think the Nationals are on the hook for some of his money, but they were talking today that if they really did go after him, it would probably work because they don't Soto doesn't have to renegotiate his contract, I think, for another year or two. Because remember, he's young. You know what I mean? Remember, he's young. So they were saying that his contract wasn't going to have to be renegotiated for maybe another like 2 years. So he's still on the books for a certain amount of money and money from the Nationals. And they said Machado's making $30 a year. So Machado's going to be a free agent next year. So he's making $30. So the crazy part about that is what they were talking today is the Padres probably could have made that work if he could have swooped in and it could have been that team, to pick, San Diego. That's pretty nice in San Diego. But at the end of the day, if I had a chance to go to San Diego, he really must have wanted to stay in New York,
Well, don't forget, Rich, it's the marketing thing. How many Judge jerseys you see walking around? It's all about New York, Rich. That's where the allure. It's so attractive for him to stay in New York. I mean, it's kind of like a no-brainer. and it showed that he wanted to stay in New York. I was just wondering if any other teams negotiated with him during this process. I mean, we heard the Padres, but I kind of wonder if the Red Sox ever got into this, or even the Mets. Like we said, remember Uncle Stevie would not get into the friendly fire here. But you know what, though? If Judge would have signed with the Giants, the Yankees would have been on the phone with Brendan Nimmo, and he would have been wearing pinstripes tonight. So, but that gentleman agreement where they wouldn't take the best player, I guess it stood through, because I didn't hear anything about the Mets with Judge.
No, I didn't either. And you never know. I know I was ranting and raving about how there could have been some backdoor conversations with Judge or whatnot. But at the end of the day, you know what it is? At the end of the day, what all this makes, it makes for good talk. It makes for good conversation, because that's all we've been talking about for the last couple of days. And I got to be honest with you, when those tweets were coming through, I was texting you. It's kind of exciting. You want to find out what's going on. It gives you something to talk about. You know what I mean? Even if, and of course, today on all the radio stations, I've been listening to a lot of BT and Tiki at 10 o'clock. I like that show. BT does a great job. It's like, it's like it's been everywhere. It's been everything. We have two really good football teams in this city right now, and like we have a lot going on. But everybody is talking about Aaron Judge. It's just unbelievable to me, dude.
Yeah, they're even selling Arson Judge T-shirts right now. I guess Arson Judge went to San Francisco, but
and that's the funny. And that's the funny part about that is what they were saying is John Heyman was jumping the gun so badly trying to get that tweet out that he obviously that he spelled Aaron wrong and he made it arson. It's like, bonehead, you're in your selected field, and you're like a supposed legend in your field, and you come out there and you got to be the first guy, and you don't even know if it's 100% true. That's got, and then you got to retract the tweet, and you can't even man up and say, I don't know how I feel about that, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, but that's what they do. They walk the lobbies of these hotels where the winter meetings are. They look for rumors and stuff like that. And this was like one of the biggest signings in baseball history, basically. Where's Judge going and stuff. I never knew. No Yankee has ever left a team like this. Robinson Cano wasn't the star of the team when he left. Cano just went for the money, and look what happened to him, right? Basically, so he went. He just lived, whatever, came back to New York, but whatever. He just fell through a hole. That was it. But I think the same thing would happen to Judge if he went to San Francisco. I mean, there's not that much. I mean, New York is the place to play.
San Francisco's got history, dude. It's not like Colorado, Arizona. It's like you go to San Francisco to play baseball. I mean, it's not a place where players go to die. Not it's not so much. You know what I mean? Like I think he would have had a very prosperous and popular career. I mean, I think it's different than Anaheim, right? Where Trout is. I mean, I think Trout would be a different player if he was in San Francisco.
Well, do you think he would hit 62 home runs with the protection of Mike Yastrzemski?
No way, man.
Maybe his grandfather called Yastrzemski, not Mike Yastrzemski.
All right, now listen. Now look, E. That's going to bring me to my next point. Now, okay. Now, yeah. I was looking at, and correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, I can tell you the Mets lineup, but I'm looking at the Yankee lineup now. This is what I'm going to tell you what the Yankee lineup's probably going to be, and I'm not a Yankee fan. It's probably going to be Harrison Bader, Aaron Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Torres, Donaldson, one of the Cabrera boys, IKF, and Trevino. I mean, does that sound like the right lineup to you, or any other the usual suspect per se?
Well, I'm going to discuss the Yankees because they still have a lot of work to do. I mean, like we said, they're the same team that they were. That got swept by the Astros. They didn't better themselves by getting Judge, but they need a left fielder. Definitely need a left fielder. And Brian Reynolds of the Pirates is out there. Now, let me tell you, the Yankees and Pirates have made a couple of trades in the past couple of years. So there is a relationship between the two teams. Getting Brian Reynolds would probably, get a lot of return. I think maybe Gleyber Torres can go to Pittsburgh or something like that. But then again, you could have Brendan Nimmo play left field, right, Rich? Where did Nimmo play? Nimmo plays a center fielder, right? But you can move him to left, right?
You know what? Let's talk about that for a second. Because I think we spoke real quick before we went on live. We had a conversation. I think we're pretty much in agreement on this. Now, yeah, I went so far as to just like looking these two players up because I think one is better than the other, and a lot of Met fans are going to want to punch me in the face for saying like this, but. I think if it came down to it, and I know you had said to me you would rather have Brandon Nimmo. I would rather have Andrew Benintendi in my outfield than Brandon Nimmo. Now I know, Met fans are like, "Oh my God, how can you say that about Nimmo? How he's a hustler. He's our leadoff guy." Listen, he's a good baseball player. Again, I mean, and if he wants all this money, it's more power to him. Get all the money you can. But I mean, you go over. I think Andrew Benintendi just seems to me. I mean, look, he's been hurt a little bit more than Nimmo. I mean, Nimmo's missed some games too, but Benintendi just seems like he's just a better baseball player all around than Nimmo. And I'd rather have him roam in my outfield than Brandon Nimmo. That's just how I feel about that. I mean, look, now listen to this. They both came into the league at the same time. Okay, 2016, they'll both. Nimmo is 2 years older. Okay, they've both played. Let's see, Benintendi's played about 140 more games. Benintendi's got about 900 more plate appearances. He's got about 300 more hits. He's got about 50 more doubles. Nimmo's got more triples, home runs. He's got 10 more home runs. He's got 150 more RBIs, steals more bases. Just looking at the guy, he makes less errors. His putouts are more. I was looking at his defensive stuff. The fact that he maybe gets hurt a little more. I would rather have Benintendi in the outfield than Nimmo. I mean, what do you think about that, E?
Well, I would like Brian Reynolds. I think Brian Reynolds is a better player. Brian Reynolds played 159 games in 2021 All-Star, and this year he played about 140 plus games, averages about 25 home runs a year. The RBIs were a little off this year, but he is a switch hitter. I like Reynolds. I know the Pirates are dangling him as bait right now, but that's who I want. But there's also Brendan Drury out there, and there's also the wild card, Michael Conforto out there as well.
How'd you like to be a young stud player out in Pittsburgh? I know the Amish Outlaws listening now. How'd you like to be a young stud player like that shortstop they got there? You get drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates. The minute you get drafted by the Pirates, if you're really good, you got to be picking out what color you look good in the next year or two, because you're not staying in Pittsburgh. They just come. They don't keep their players. They just it's not even I wouldn't even say a revolving door. It's just like a through that they come in. It's like, wow, look at this kid, he's great. Holy shit, he's playing for the Cardinals. Wow, look at this pitcher, he's awesome. Holy shit, he's pitching for the Yankees. So why I don't understand what Pittsburgh does. Like, Pittsburgh just doesn't. Obviously they have good talent in the farm system. I don't know why. This kid, this shortstop, I don't know what's going to happen with him. They're probably going to trade him, or they're going to have to give him like $250, $300 million.
Yeah, Rich, they're called quadruple A teams. The Pirates, the Kansas City Royals, all they do is get talent and trade it away, bring in prospects. They play 3 years, they trade them away.
Royals won the World Series in 15, though.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the Royals 7 years ago won the World Series, but the Pirates in 1979, they did make the playoffs along the way with Bonds and stuff like that. But yeah, right now there's these quadruple A teams, Arizona Diamondbacks, also quadruple A teams. That's what it is. The Rays used to be it, right? Exactly. The Rays aren't it anymore. But that's what it is. They like to groom talent, and Brian Reynolds is the next one to go. We'll see what happens with Pittsburgh. But they got rid of Cole. They got rid of Tyon. Tyon's now with the Cubs. We'll talk about that and stuff like that. There's still the Yankees. Like I said, they need the left fielder. Getting back to the Yankees, they need a starting pitcher. Rondon's still out there. But now with the Judge contract, Rondon's looking for 6 years, 180 million. So that's $30 million a year. I don't know if that's gonna get the deal done.
Let me give you a hypothetical situation, E.
Yeah.
Okay. Hypothetical situation. You guys need some pitching, right? Okay. Yeah. I want Giancarlo Stanton as my DH in Citi Field.
Really?
I know he's got a lot of money on his contract. I know he strikes out a lot, but he would be a superstar in Citi Field at DH. What would you like?
Who are you going to trade?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'll give you. Listen, it's a lot of money, dude. You'd be freeing up a lot of cash.
Hey, I got a trade. Give me Pete Alonso, Francisco Lindor, a cheeseburger from Shake Shack, and a Pat LaFrieda steak sandwich, please.
Well, listen, there's a lot of Yankee fans out there, dude, that I was discussing this with that don't think that's a bad idea. They say, oh, Stanton, he strikes out too much. Or that's why I was talking to somebody the other day that said he strikes out too much. Like, either he's hitting home runs or he's striking out, and he's so quiet. And it's like he's been the most productive. First off, he's been the most productive Yankee in the playoffs for you guys.
Yeah, no doubt. If the Yankees didn't have him in the playoffs, exactly, they would have got swept in every series.
This is where my dialogue started with this guy. I was like, you know what? I was like, you don't want him? That's fine. I would love to have me. He wouldn't even have to sniff the outfield. He could just DH whenever he wants. And we'll give him, I think there's 213 left on his contract or something. It's some wacky contract that he's got. But he's at the end of the day, he's getting 335. until like 2030 or something like that. But listen, Mets got the money. I would love to have him to plug him in as my DH. Right now we got Vogelbach and we got the other guy there. It's like they're not done there yet. When we talk about the Mets, I have a couple of things I got to talk about the Mets. What I would like to see happen with the Mets. But you don't think
but
that?
Rich,
You don't think? Yeah.
but Rich, I mean, come on now. Are the Yankees complaining about Stanton? I don't hear too many complaints about Stanton.
I don't. I'm just talking about like friendly banter with these guys, and I'm wondering like why does nobody? I don't know. Maybe no. Listen. It's half and half. A lot of people. But some of the people that say bad things about him, like I don't know. The guy's been a consummate professional for the Yankees. He just comes in there, he hits home runs, and every once in a while, like he forgets how to play the outfield, but and then he makes one flub, and then he's back on track. But I don't know. I like Stanton. So so you would never do that in a million years.
Well, maybe the Mets want Josh Donaldson and Aaron Hicks.
No way. I told you I can't stand Aaron Hicks. That guy's a head case. I want nowhere near my baseball team.
I think Aaron Hicks might be playing the outfield for the Pittsburgh Pirates this year.
You know what? That's where some of these players should go. These players, it's like the land of misfit toys. Like I just watched Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer the other day, and they had that land of misfit toys, like with the water gun that shoots grape jelly and the train with square wheels. It's like maybe like Pittsburgh could be a place like where all these players go that nobody really wants. Like Josh Donaldson, like hey, you could go to Pittsburgh. Like all these guys that like the Bad News Bears, like have them just go to Pittsburgh. I think that'd be kind of fun. Maybe they'll have them play
Milwaukee,
like that.
Maybe send them to Milwaukee.
Maybe they'll have them play like that. They'll be like the Washington Generals from the Harlem Globetrotters. They'll play that banana team every once in a while from Georgia.
Yeah, that's right.
Some extra money.
Savannah Bananas. So Rondon is out there for pitching. I wouldn't be surprised if the Yankees go after Chris Bassett as well, Rich. He's pitched in New York a year. I don't know if he's a New York product, but Nathan Eovaldi, he was a Yankee. Maybe he's out there, and also Gleyber Torres might be going to Miami. They were talking about Pablo Lopez coming to the Yankees. That wasn't done at the trade deadline last year, but that's a possibility as well. And also the left side of the infield, I don't know what the Yankees are going to do there. I know they love the Oswaldos, but
what do you think of those guys?
Donaldson at third base? I don't know about that. What's that, Rich? I'm sorry.
Who's going to be a shortstop next year?
I think it's going to go to spring training. It's going to be either IKF, Oswaldo Cabrera, or Aguazo Peraza. So I don't know what they're going to do at shortstop. I don't know if they're going to make a trade. One of these shortstops. They got the 3 Jeter-like shortstop, Volpe, as well. So I don't know what's happening in Yankee land, but How about you knock it out of the park? You put Cabrera at short and you put Volpe at second and go with the kids. Well, you got. Don't forget, you got DJ LeMahieu. Right? Yeah, LeMahieu can play third base probably. Get rid of Donaldson. I know somebody would take Donaldson. Somebody would take Donaldson, I think.
Donaldson's how much money is he making? The Yankees are, and all these teams that have a lot of money, they'll just sit him on the bench. They don't care how much money they're playing him. What happened to him? I mean, I'm not saying he was ever a superstar, but he always reminded me of kind of like that Jock Peterson type guy. You know what I mean? But Jock Peterson seems to be excelling. He just signed a contract. He just re-signed his contract for a year, I guess. Out in San Francisco. But
he wanted Judge to come with him.
yeah. Now he's got to be. I guess he's still going to be the man out there.
Well, Jock Peterson,
he's kind of like, I don't know, man. Maybe, does he not fit like with the Yankee mold and the Yankee organization? Yeah, thanks, Orbs. Fuck Donaldson. I don't know. He's lazy, right? Like he doesn't. I don't know.
He's a little outspoken sometimes, Donaldson. There was the incident with the White Sox last year and stuff, but and I could see like Judge was staring him down. Donaldson, it's like, you know what? That's why it's great having Judge. Judge is a leader in the clubhouse. No doubt about it, right? That's why Judge is great in this clubhouse.
All right. Do you think? Yeah, you think so? You think he's there yet? As far as like he could grab somebody by the throat and say, "What Are
you kidding me?
Doing?"
When Donaldson went after what's his name, Anderson? Did you see the look that Judge was giving Donaldson?
Yeah, I did.
I saw the eyes bulging. It's like get the fuck in the dugout, basically.
Yeah. Listen, I'm sure he could be that guy. He just looks like, he's a nice guy. You think his, what I found out today when he got married, like he's been with his wife since like they're young, like they're like high school sweethearts. Now you think like his wife was like, listen, what?
Judge,
I'm talking about Aaron Judge.
Judge, yeah.
You think his wife was like, listen, you got to sign a huge contract. You're gonna be making a lot of money. You're gonna be on the cover of a lot of magazines, sweetheart. You got to get them teeth fixed. Or you think that he did it on his own? What do you think the answer to that question is?
Well, wasn't the prediction that the teeth? Wasn't the prediction that he said he'd be married to her and playing for the Giants within 10 years? That was his prediction, I guess. But I guess he's married to her, but he's not playing with the Giants.
No, that's good though. They're going to have a nice big. Where do you think they're going to live? Westchester, probably get a nice penthouse apartment in Manhattan. I don't know, where do you live with that kind of money, Eric? What do you think? Like, if you had that kind of cash right now, someone dropped 300 mil right in your lap right now, would you leave Fishkill? Like, where would you? I don't know. Where would you go?
Actually, he's going to live next to EDUBBS in his EDUBBS palatial estate.
Palatial estate. Having walls built now. Oh, his wife did make him get his teeth done. There you go. That's the answer to my question. Yeah, I'd have to assume
Wow.
that. His teeth are a little crazy. He's a good-looking guy. And now
Mm-hmm.
he's got a lot of money, and he's going to be this. It's got to be said. He's got to be the captain. It's got to be before opening day, right?
Yeah, so just to put an end on this, so when I woke up this morning, I usually sleep. I usually turn my phone off when I go to sleep. If somebody needs to get me, they know how to get me. But I woke up and I turned on my phone, and all the texts coming through, and there was a text from the Amish Outlaw saying Judge 9 years, 360 million from the Giants. So once again, I went on Twitter. There's nothing. I went to the gym 4:30 this morning. I kept refreshing my Twitter. Almost fell off the treadmill. Almost lost my balance as I keep refreshing. Nothing. Nothing. I'm on a conference call with India at 8:30, and I see it scroll across the screen. I almost yelled out a "Holy shit!" on the call. Good thing I was on. Good thing I was on mute during that call, Rich. But happy day for me. I can move on now, enjoy my winter. It was getting a little gut wrenching these past couple of days, but happy day for me. What a weekend, though. It all started Friday night with that douche. Jacob DeGrom going to Texas. And you know what, though? You can't blame him. Texas put all that money for a guy who won 5 games last year of his team's 103 wins, whatever the hell it was. But so be
Listen,
it.
dude. Listen. First off, your wife the other day put something on Facebook, and I think we have a similar taste. And I have to put. You got to let her know something. She likes that Evan Williams eggnog, right?
Oh, yeah, she loves the eggnog. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Now you're gonna have to tell your wife that I just finished. I put some Evan Williams eggnog in my coffee. It
Oh,
was absolutely delicious. So you tell your lovely wife that next time she's wants to break out that eggnog, tell her to have it with her coffee on Sunday morning. The two of you guys should have coffee and Evan Williams eggnog in bed on Sunday morning. E-dubs. I think that should be
Rich,
in
I
line.
have not had an alcoholic beverage since August 18th, 2021 was my last adult beverage. So my streak is still going, and I'm not a big eggnog fan either. So,
No, well, anyway, you know what, though? I just wanted to point that out. Evan Williams has some pretty good eggnog, but I'll tell you right now, I don't know if he's listening out there, but I know my boy Timmy out there listens to the show all the time. He doesn't listen live, but he's all caught up. He makes, hands down, the best eggnog I've ever had in my entire life. It's a special recipe that's been passed down to somebody that he knew from a long time ago, and he's been making it for years. And every Christmas, it's going to be the first Christmas I'm not working with him in the last 12 years. Usually, he brings in a bunch of bottles. I'll have to make it down there. But he hands down makes the best. I don't know what he does, and I know eggnog doesn't seem like it's much, but he does something with it, and just the stuff that he adds. He makes the best eggnog on the entire planet. And Tim, I'm gonna have to come down and grab one of those bottles from him before Christmas. So you're probably gonna listen to us the next couple of days, but he makes the best eggnog, dude. It's unbelievable.
wow, wow,
So anyway, all right. So you mentioned my boy Jacob DeGrom. Okay,
yeah.
so my feelings on Jacob DeGrom is unlike you, Jacob. Unlike you, Aaron Judge was a part of your baseball team. In other words, you Yankee fans, you hung on his every word. You're like, is Judge going to hit a home run tonight? It's like look at how hard look at this, look at that. You guys hung like he walked around and he wore them fucking pinstripes proud, dude. You know what though? And at the end of the day, it made him sign that contract. Jacob DeGrom didn't give a shit about New York Mets, the Texas Rangers, the Cincinnati Reds, or the Buffalo Bills. He just knows about the green bills and the cash and the fucking money. He didn't care. He wasn't, listen, I sound like I'm a little mad. Maybe I'm a little butthurt that he left. I'm going to be honest. I would have loved to hear him stay here. But you know what, though? At the end of the day, 2 years out of this guy, he was a ghost. He won 2 Cy Youngs. Great. I'm not taking anything away from this guy. He's a great pitcher. He's going to go down in history as probably top 10 greatest pitchers of all time. And I don't know where his career is going to end because that's a tall glass of water to hold. But Jacob deGrom left for the money. Bottom line, he's going to go to Texas. And what's Texas going to do? Who they got over there? They got who they signed like Corey Seager. They signed him last year already.
Yeah, they got Seager and Semien last year. They spent over $500 million in contracts last year.
They're number 10 on. They're number 10 on the. They got the 10th highest payroll at 199 million. I don't know why. Just popped out of my head because I was reading the list before. But they're 199 million is their payroll now.
Yeah, and they suck.
So exactly. So what's going to happen is he's got $199 million payroll out there. He's out in Texas. They got a fairly new stadium. I mean, do they have are baseball fans, rabid baseball fans out there? No. And you know what though? That might be the reason why Jacob deGrom went out to the Texas Rangers. Maybe he's, like I said to you a couple of podcasts ago, maybe he's got that Zach Greinke syndrome where he just doesn't like being in front of crowds. I mean, he could perform obviously in front of big crowds, but maybe he just doesn't want to be in a big, New York City is a big stage, man. Maybe the words got maybe us making fun of him, saying you should do better, or maybe he just couldn't handle the heat. I don't know, and he got out and went to Texas where he could be mediocre. I mean, Nolan Ryan pitched in Texas, man, one of the greatest pitchers of all time. But I don't think maybe they don't care as much about baseball in Texas. And if a Texas fan's listening, and they could call me out on it, but 185 million, possible 222. Was he maybe hurt that he didn't get offered in the 40s that Scherzer has or Verlander? Maybe, but at the end of the day, I'm going to have to say, and don't look back. That's it. Just don't look back, man. deGrom is gone. He's going to pitch. We're playing the Rangers. He's going to pitch against us, and it's going to be in Texas. So I don't know if anybody's going to make a pilgrimage out there, just say fuck you, Jacob deGrom. But it's not even worth it. He is in my rearview mirror right now, like a lot of those Mets guys have left. I can't be pissed off about it because today they signed the pitcher. They signed Quintana today. Now, like I said, there is nobody replacing Jacob deGrom, best pitcher in baseball. But obviously, you got to make some moves, righty?
Yeah. Well, what about Verlander? That's a biggie.
That's what I was just going to say. Now, I just wanted to give you. I had to come up for breath. Well, what I think about Verlander is the Verlander thing is that's another thing you hear people saying, oh, he's old. He's like the two old geezers. You got Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander. We didn't sign Justin Verlander to win a World Series in 2031, dude. We signed Justin Verlander to bring his ass in and get Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander into that clubhouse to invoke a little, not only. Now, look, I know he won a fucking Cy Young last year, Verlander. Can it happen again? And he pitched in the American League. Now, all you American League purists who think that the American League's got the better hitters or the American League this, American League that, he pitched in the American League for the Houston Astros, won a World Series, didn't pitch that great in the playoffs, but he muddled through. But he did win a Cy Young. And now he's coming to the New York Mets with his buddy Max Scherzer, and now we got Quintana. And if we could get Rendon on this pitching staff too, I mean, come on. I mean, losing Jacob deGrom is fine. Because he's gonna maybe make 15 to 20 starts next year for the Rangers at best. Because his fingers are gonna fall off or something. But not that I wished his fingers to fall off the other day or nothing. But if they do, But I can't. They didn't replace him, but they did add a pitcher. And if they could, and they ordered they also got a reliever. They got the kid from the Rays.
Pretty good reliever. But Rich, you know what gets me though, Rich? You got Scherzer. 38 years old, and he was practically dead by the end of last year. And now you got Verlander, going to be 40 years old by opening day. What do you think? I mean, is there too much age on the 1-2 starters, do you think? I mean, the Mets might be the oldest team in the major leagues right now.
Listen, how about this? How about the two old guys? They've been saying, on the local radio stations and reading the papers and stuff that these two guys are friends. I mean, how about the two of them just, maybe they just sat down with a bottle of whiskey the other night and said, you know what, let's just go out on a high note. Let's retire after this year. We're both getting old. Let's win a fucking World Series together. We both have won Cy Youngs. We both have won World Series with prospective teams. Let's win one together, and let's just go all out for this one final year. I mean, I gotta think that they're two older guys, but I gotta think that clubhouse is kind of fun, though, dude. I can't think that being in the clubhouse with Pete Alonso isn't a fucking blast on a daily basis. I mean, maybe these guys in the clubhouse, these young guys, maybe they make them feel young again. I don't know, Eric. But unlike you, that has 27 World Series, I've seen one in my life in 1986, and I wasn't alive in '69. So the fact that World Series don't come too far, they come too far and few between for me. But I have to hang. I have to say it's a good move because I don't think Cohen's. He's not done, dude. And I got something else that I think Cohen should do that I think would be the perfect move for the New York Mets to make right now. And all right, Verlander, I think it was a good move, and I think it's a year move. I don't think it's a year for a move for the future. I think it's a win next year move. It's that's we're not going to move to the next round of the playoffs. We're going to move to the big game, and we're going to move to the World Series. And I think that's what they had in mind with Verlander. Now,
Yep.
I think there's two things. I think it's probably going to be like it's probably going to be like a wet dream for this both to happen. But I think the first thing I'm thinking about is pretty that might come to fruition. JD Martinez is out there. Okay. JD Martinez is 35 years old, and he had a $110 million contract with the Red Sox and tore the cover off the ball for a couple of years. They won a World Series, a whole bunch of silver sluggers and stuff. Why not the Mets offer him a contract, just like I said to do with Stanton, but Stanton would be a trade. Why don't you offer JD Martinez a 3-year contract? He'll be 38 after it's up, and let him plug the middle of that lineup instead of Vogelbach and Ruff and maybe Beatty. And why don't you offer him a contract and let him play 3 years, 20 a year? Give him 90 million maybe to have him back cleanup. I would love to have JD Martinez in that lineup.
Wow. Yeah, I think his stats have tailed off over the past couple of years. But you know what, though? A veteran like that in the lineup, definitely over Vogelbach and Ruff, right? I mean, I would take J.D. Davis in that lineup still, if they still had him, correct?
Yeah, and why not? Listen, who's looking for might be looking for a 1-year deal? How about Justin Turner come back for a year and be the DH? He's 38. He might want to,
Oh,
he might want to come in and smack the ball
yep.
around a little bit in City Field.
You know who else is out there? He was apparently at the winter meeting. Yasiel Puig, trying to stay out of jail, but maybe he can go to City Field and hit some balls out of City Field, right?
Yasiel Puig. What did we go over what supposedly happened to Yasiel Puig?
We didn't go over that. You know, that's the police blotter, Rich. We did Brett Favre and we did. Who else did we do along the way? Herschel Walker, right?
There was an urban legend or a myth out there about Yasiel Puig, that Yasiel Puig is a Cuban baseball player, and back in the day when Yasiel Puig was trying to come to the United States of America, he made a deal with he made a big deal with some pretty bad people over there, and he owed a certain amount of money, and I suppose from what I heard, either they came looking for their money or I don't know. It was very, like I said, very urban legendy. Very, you don't know if it really happened in that, but he did kind of he was kind of in and out. Like he played really well, then he'd disappear a little bit, then he'd come back. But the legend out there is that he owed a ton of money to some Cuban gangsters, and they came looking for their money. And I don't know if that's true, but apparently I guess that happens. They go looking for other outlets to get to come over here, and sometimes they wind up running into bad people and owed some money. So I don't know,
Wow.
maybe Puig's going to make a comeback. I mean, he has a gun in right field, dude. A gun. I mean,
Yeah.
am I right or wrong?
Oh yeah, no, he's got a gun, definitely, almost like Jesse Barfield and Aaron Judge. But yeah, no, he would be good, right? But I don't know how old he is. He might be a little older. Yeah, he's played in Korea the past couple of years, I guess. But there's some guys out there and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if Benintendi goes to the Mets. I wouldn't be surprised.
Now, if Benintendi comes and say, if you're Steve Cohen and you're waiting around for Brandon Nimmo and Benintendi walks into your office and says, "Make me an offer," do you say, "Sorry, Brandon, we got to go. We're making this kid an offer," or do you say, "Look, we're still waiting on Brandon Nimmo"? So Benintendi says, "All right, fine, I'll just go to the Cubs." Whatever. Like, what do you do?
Well, a lot of this was the FU. They give I thought Judge was going to last. I mean, it's kind of selfish for the players to drag this on, basically, because you know what? We're only about 100 days from opening day, 113 days from opening day, whatever. But usually they like to get it done but by the winter meeting, so these teams can plan ahead. So the more that Brandon Nimmo waits, I would just say, screw you. We're going for Plan B now, basically. I don't know if you agree with that, but if you don't go for Plan B, there's no Plan B, there's no Plan B, C, there's no Plan D. All the guys are sucked up off the market, basically.
What kind of deal do you think Brandon Nimmo is going to get? He's 30 years old, and again, I hate to think of him as this guy, but I think of him as you rub him on the head and say, "Great job, buddy." You know what I mean? It's I don't I'm not giving Brandon Nimmo $20 million to play center field. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. As a Met fan, somebody tell me I'm not seeing anything, but is somebody not seeing a superstar in Brandon Nimmo that I'm not seeing? I would so much rather have Benintendi in center field than Brandon Nimmo. And again, I gotta say it out loud because I'm deaf. I know I think out of the box as a Met fan, and a lot of Met fans don't like some of the shit that I say. Like you know what I got a lot of shit for the other day from somebody that listened to the podcast a couple of weeks ago. One of my father's buddies. I said something the other day about back in the day, if I had the choice between Nolan Ryan and Thomas Seaver, and I knew, going forward who would be who, they both have great. I said Nolan Ryan all day. My dad's buddy started screaming at me the other day because he loves Tom Seaver. He's like, "Are you out of your mind?" And blah 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 blah. I was like, I don't know. Sometimes I say stuff out of out of the Met fan box, but I just don't see it with Brandon Nimmo. I don't, Eric. I don't. You could have him, I guess, if you want to give him 20, but I'm not gonna. I'm not. Again, it's not my money, and I'm not saying that. I just say I'd rather allocate the funds to somebody else than Brandon Nimmo to play center field.
Yeah, I just put in the chat that Nimmo's going to probably go to Colorado. They'll give him the $20 million a year. They spent all that money on Chris Bryant last year, so they have money to spend. So that's where my prediction is for Brandon Nimmo going out to Colorado. But Benintendi would be good for the Mets. You know who else would be good for the Mets?
Cool.
Aaron Judge.
All right. That's fine. You know what? That's fine. If I really thought he was coming to the Mets, whatever, Eric. You know what? I'm happy for that. I really am happy. I'm really, really happy for. You know who's still out there too, Eric? Didi Gregorius is still out there. Oh, here's my third. This is my third. I guess you would say like this might be a little too much, pushing it a little too much. How about we do that? Nimmo's gone. We get Benintendi, and we got JD Davis as our DH now. So now we make one more move, and this is going to cost a lot of money. Why don't we approach Carlos Correa and say, Mr. Correa, you want to play third base for the New York Mets? Then our infield looks like Carlos Correa, looks like Francisco Lindor, Jeff McNeil, and the polar bear, my favorite baseball player in Major League Baseball, Pete Alonso. That sounds like an infield that I am willing to go to war with. Do you think that will ever happen?
Wow, probably not. I think Correa's going to the Giants. I mean, the Giants
have start spending money. They should go on a spending spree like your boy the Steinbrenners did. And again, I have nothing against that. That's awesome. They should just go and spend $500 million and just go way over that luxury tax and just spend. If you're going to spend. Why not? You know what I mean? That year you guys got Sabathia, and you got this one, and you got that one. Again, not our money. He's a billionaire. He's got a lot of FU money. Just sign everybody, bro. Let's go. Let's roll for 1 or 2 years, and let's just try it. Let's see what it's like to be the cream of the crop, the Dodgers. Let's see what it's like to get all the players and just give them money, but give the right players the money. Have an all-star infield. Have an all-star outfield. I don't know. He's got the money, and I still think he's going to spend more money. And it's not embarrassing. Everybody's like, "Oh, your owner's acting like the Yankees were." Who cares? A lot of people out there who watch sports. They make fun of New York sports because they're not New York sports. That's the reason why they make fun of us. And it's because we're passionate sports fans, and that's why a lot of these players, they leave this market because they can't take the heat, and they got out of the kitchen. And the ones that stay become legends in New York. And it's time for guys like Aaron Judge, guys like Pete Alonso to suck it up and become fucking legends for New York. We got to start. It's got to happen. These guys are making a lot of money. Don't do it for the money. Do it because you love the game and you want to win a World Series and become a legend. That's what you want to do in this city.
But Rich, look at the track record. You say people make fun of New York. Look at the track record for New York. How many championships have a New York team won in the past 10 years, basically, right? I mean, look at the Knicks, the Jets, the Mets. I mean, we suck.
Yeah. And everybody was getting so excited before Thanksgiving. They're talking about, hey, after we get back to Thanksgiving, the Jets are good. The Giants are fighting for the playoffs. New York sports is good. Well, nothing, whatever. The Knicks, you got the Nets. But now it's kind of like, all right, Judge is here. New York sports is kind of. We've never all been good at once. Like, you ever notice, like. You always think of like the Patriots. Like, you never think of them as like the Boston Patriots, then the New England Patriots. But every time the Red Sox would win, the Patriots would win. The Patriots and the Red Sox. They'd always be good at the same time. Why can't the Jets and the Mets be good at the same time?
You got the Bruins, the Celtics. Boston's a winning city. Look at all the championships won in the past 20 years.
I'd like to count. I don't know if somebody out there could count for me, but how many championships has the city of Boston won out of with four? There are four in the last 25 years. I wonder how many championships the city of Boston has won. I'll look. I guess I'll look that up.
Oh, Rich, I'm
But
sorry. NYCFC won the soccer MLS last year, so New York did get a championship. I'm sorry. They had a parade, I guess. The parade was down, I don't know, where was the parade? Battery Park, maybe, if that?
the MLS. Oh my! Wow, you just threw me for a loop there. Yeah, that's great. Nice job. Let's give him a little. Give him a little.
See,
Okay,
we
now
talk
moving on.
soccer. We talk soccer, right?
Moving on.
Hey, Rich, can we take a call? I know Dan wants to come in. Sully Mad, you wanted to come in. We
Oh,
can,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Hold on a second.
hey, Dan,
There it
call
is.
in.
I got him. It's my boy Dan. I know who it is. My boy. Where is he? Hey, Dan.
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, what's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
All right, we finally got you to call in, huh, brother?
Hi, Dan. How you doing? Nice to meet you.
I apologize. I took so long.
That's all right. Listen, E, this guy right here,
Yeah.
he's a little quiet. Let's see if he can unleash his inner beast on the MURF and EDUBBS show. But
Okay, great.
he's a
Nice
very,
to meet you,
very
Dan.
good Mets fan. He's a very good
Mets-
Mets fan, very knowledgeable,
Oh.
and very passionate.
Oh, can we get some Yankee fans on this show, please? Just kidding. What's up, Dan?
Anyway, Dan.
Hey, I'm actually very happy for you. You got Judge. That's good.
Thank you.
So,
Appreciate it. Thanks.
I really,
was,
I really thought he was on last night. But,
All right, Dan. So what do you got? What do you got for us tonight, Dan?
so my serious question is listen. I love the Mets, and I am so excited about all these pitchers, and we have the greatest, five right now, probably, but I'm still worried about the lineup. And they want to use all these young guys like Batty and Alvarez, and we don't even know what they're going to be yet. And so my thing is, and if Nimmo is gone too, because I don't see him staying, what bat do we want to bring in? Because
I've got an answer for your question because I don't know if you've heard me going on my rant about
Sure.
what I think the lineup should be. All right, we know what our lineup is right now. Our
Yes.
lineup is what it is. It hasn't gotten any better. My dream lineup for the New York Mets is: are you ready for this on opening day? Benintendi leading off.
Ooh.
Lindor second, Alonso batting third, JD Martinez DH batting fourth, McNeil batting fifth, Marte batting sixth, Correa playing third, batting seventh, Alvarez catching, and Canna in left.
So is McCann gone?
Yes, out of there. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. I'd rather keep Nito. I'd rather keep Nito there to teach Alvarez. Dude, Dan, I don't know how much you know about Alvarez. Alvarez is going to be a superstar for this baseball
I
team.
know he is. I know it, and I'm very excited for him. But I don't want him as a DH. I want him as a starting catcher.
He's the starting catcher. He's my JD Martinez. In my dream Mets lineup next year, Martinez is my DH. Alvarez is my everyday catcher.
But I heard EDUBBS. He did say, and I kind of agree with him. He had a rough year last year, JD Martinez.
Yep.
So I'm hoping that he bounces back with maybe being in this lineup.
Can he hit more home runs than Vogelbach?
Yeah, definitely. And he can probably maybe run quicker too.
Exactly. I mean, I'm willing to take a flyer on the guy. You know what I mean? Just even,
I agree.
Even another guy, Dan. What do you think of Trey Mancini?
He wasn't bad for Houston.
Look at that. You know what I'm saying? A DH. I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I agree. And listen, and if they want to spend the money, spend like crazy, why can't Conforto be a DH?
Now, what do you think about Mr. Conforto there? Now, I got a soft spot for Michael Conforto because I loved watching his Little League World Series stories, and
Sure.
I heard a really good, cool story about him is when he was 5 years old that he grew up in Washington. His father was playing wiffle ball with him in the backyard. And, he swung and he hit the wiffle ball so hard that he broke the bay window in his house. And his father looked at him and was like, "You just broke the bay window with a wiffle ball." And he thought he was in trouble. He's like, "You're going to be in the major leagues one day, kid." And I loved that story. I went out and I bought 2 of his jerseys. And I really don't want them to collect dust. So maybe if he wants to be a water boy, a ball boy, something, or maybe something man on the roster, just get on the roster so I could wear your jersey proud, Michael Conforto. Give him a contract. Give him a couple of bucks to sit on the bench and just look. He's a handsome guy, right?
But what do I do? What do I do with my DeGrom jerseys right now? I mean, I don't even know what to do with them.
Burn them.
I know. I really feel like I'm gonna have to go live with it and burn them. Like, and hopefully.
And I need another perspective. I need another perspective from a level-headed Mets fan. Please give me a couple minutes on what you think about DeGrom leaving.
All right. So myself, I absolutely loved him. I did. So that's past tense. What he did for us, but I think this year, and what he did, going to Texas and all this stuff, and not really even talking. Basically checked out, talking to not really talking to other players. Even some players are kind of coming out and were saying that he was very quiet. After the season, no one really talked to him. So basically, you kind of knew, last season, that he didn't really put the effort in that we really needed to. So, and my other perspective is that he wants to be the number one. He wants to be the main guy. Scherzer comes in. He's he's one of the main. He's a main guy now too. And I think
he's the alpha personality.
Yeah, and I think in Texas, who's going to top him? No one's going to top him. They did 68 wins last year, so good luck with that. So
hey, Rich and Dan, I got a question for you. Who's the opening day starter? Is it Scherzer or Verlander?
Scherzer, because he's been there longer.
Gotcha.
And I don't even think Verlander would even.
I don't think he would care either. But I like what you said before, because I was listening. I like what you said, that maybe these two just sat down and were like, let's do it. This is going to be a fun ride.
Well, they were Tiger teammates for a couple of years too, so they know each other. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. So I think that's a good. I mean, listen, I know you because I saw your message with Quintana, but he had a great year, and I think for a third spot, that's a great sign. I mean, look at what Walker got. Walker got way much more, and Philly always overpays. You know that. So
I just didn't like the fact, Dan, that Quintana's been on 5 teams in 2 years.
Every time I saw Taijuan Walker grab the ball, you were either going to get 11, 12 strikeouts, or he's going to get shelled in the first or second inning. You can't go up there with a pitcher that you don't have confidence in like that.
Yeah, I was extremely nervous. I'm like, oh, Walker's pitching today. Okay. And it was, first of all, the first half of the season too. Second half of the season, he was just a completely different pitcher. You're like, what happened to him? Why are you an all-star? And then all of a sudden you can't win anymore. So Quintana, he had 32 starts, 2.93 ERA. I mean, everyone was saying that, my buddy's a big St. Louis fan. He was their best pitcher, and we just stole. So, and he's our third.
What about Carrasco? Carrasco get traded, do you think? They're going to trade Carrasco or what?
No, I think he'll be our fourth. And then you got to keep, listen, I think they're still in on Senga too.
Oh, yes.
I think they're still in on him. We didn't even really talk about him. Like, I think he's going to end up in New York. I think either way. I think the biggest thing is with him, he's young. And why wouldn't he want to learn from Verlander and Scherzer? I mean, that would be the biggest, teachers right there for him. And they have the biggest energy, that in the clubhouse. So I think he wants to come here. I mean, they say Max Scherzer is just like in the clubhouse with the pitchers. Like he brought, if you heard, like he would bring the pitchers at the end of the game, and he would talk to them about what they did good, what they did wrong, what they could fix. Like,
I don't think
he would have
like that.
I was just going to say, I don't think so either. I think you're right.
I think he's like, whoa, why are we changing things? Whoa, like it's I'm going to go to Texas and do my own thing now. So,
okay, guys, one question. What about the bullpen? What about the bullpen?
Still sucks. We got to do something about the bullpen. I can't stop saying how much bullpen sucks. Although we got one good pitcher today from the Rays.
Thank God you got him. I hate these Rays relievers. They kill the Yankees every year.
I need for relievers. I would like Chafin.
Oh.
And I would like oh God, I can't think of the other guy's name right now, but Chafin would be a good start.
Chafin would be perfect.
Maybe
what about Chad Green?
No, he's good for he's on the Yankees, right?
Yeah, well, he's a free agent. He's hybrid though. He could start too. He gets you innings. He had Tommy John, so he's coming back this year from Tommy John.
Mhm.
How do you feel? How do you feel like when you're like a journeyman, like middle relief guy in like in the major leagues? You're not good enough to be a starter. You're not good enough to
Sure.
be a closer. You're just good enough to be a plug guy. So it's kind of like you have a good season, no one really notices, and then maybe like you have a better season. Like you really don't hear like nobody's paying $1 billion for a middle relief guy. It's like I think middle relief guys kind of just are just made. I think
Well,
they're kind of like
Lugo was that, but he
the
kind
Lugo
of
scared
fell
me
off.
too, man.
But I think I would actually. Oh, I just remembered my guy. I would actually maybe give a chance with Michael Fulmer. I wouldn't mind him at
Oh,
all.
okay.
Wow.
Wasn't he from the
Yeah.
Mets organization? Did he come
Yes,
from the
he
Mets
was.
organization?
Yes, he did. Yes, he
Yes.
Yes, he
did.
Yep.
was. Got
Yep.
traded to Detroit.
Yep.
Yep. So, and
Wow.
then I was nervous about trading him, but I mean, bringing him back, he's very good in the bullpen. So that would be a nice solid, and him and Chafin. I would like those two.
Right. All right. Yeah, I like that. I like that because they definitely need help. In the middle relief.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't mind
I
bringing
like that.
Anavito back. I would bring him back again.
Vino. Yeah. Is that Steph talking back there? Talking about she loses her shit, man.
Yes,
I hear her talking back there.
listen. She throws in her too. She's a huge Mets fan. You know that.
Oh, I had a long conversation with her at my sister's house that night. She knows. She definitely knows her stuff, Dan.
Listen, we have to do. That's what I said. We have to do live. At the Buck Mountain Bar down here, and we can do a whole like show here if you want. That's fine.
What do you think about that, E-Dubs?
Yeah, definitely. Once we get this our technology down pat, Rich. I don't know if we're there yet, but yeah, hopefully soon. That would be great if we go on
You know what?
on location.
You know what, Dan and Steph? It's a date, guys. Absolutely. We would
Love it.
absolutely would love to do that.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on and everything, and I can't wait to talk to you guys again.
Great.
Hey, Dan,
Thanks,
thanks for
Dan.
the
Nice meeting
Steph,
you.
Nice meeting you too.
thanks for the support, brother. I'll talk to you. All right.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yep. That's my buddy.
Anybody else
That's
want
my
to
buddy.
call in? Feel free to call in and talk Mets Yankees. So, Rich, Dan had a good point. Andrew Chafin, I love that guy. He's nicknamed the Sheriff, lefty, and I would love for the Yankees to get him.
Yeah. I mean, well, the Yankees aren't really hurting that badly in the bullpen, right? Are they? I
Well, the
mean,
Yankees got Tommy Conley. He's the second time around with the Yankees. He had Tommy John as well, and he came to pitch with the Dodgers in September this year. And he was pretty much lights out in the playoffs. He had a little trouble, but yeah, he's a hard throwing right hander, and the Yankees bullpen's actually looking pretty good. They're going to get Michael King back too, so you're going to lose Chapman. Chapman's gone. You got King. You got Marinaccio. You got Clay Holmes. The Yankees bullpen's pretty good.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, the point I was making before. Like, I don't know if you heard my question before. I was like, what do you think Gage is a good middle reliever? Like, hold on one second. We got another caller.
Oh boy!
We got another call. It's two tonight.
Wow!
I think our audio visual / promotion / PR guy is calling.
It's me.
Slash fantasy football
It's
aficionado.
I'd
Ben,
say,
how you doing, kid?
I'm good. I'd say you could call me B-Dubs, but I think that name is trademarked by Buffalo Wild Wings, so you could just call me Ben for the sake of the
I love it, Ben.
Now,
love it, dude.
I'd
I
like
can go for
to
some
because
B-dubs now, Rich. You want some B-dubs? I can go for some B-dubs.
I definitely could.
Yeah.
So as I'm listening
Yeah,
to
Ben.
the MURF and EDUBBS show, I've been reading Twitter, and it's hard to believe John Heyman lately, but he mentioned something about how the Padres might be in the hunt for Xander Bogaerts. Now, Xander Bogaerts is a shortstop. You know who else is a shortstop for the San Diego Padres?
Fernando
Tatis Jr. Is this the end of the Tatis era because of the PEDs?
Wow. Good point there, Ben.
Ben, you bring up a great point, dude. Now, do you think that the Padres organization is going to sour on the kid so quickly? He's 23 years old. He claimed that he didn't know what was going on, and they owe him a shitload of money, dude.
I think that there's always second chances. We've seen it all the time in baseball. Cano got his second chance, but he also blew it. A-Rod got his second chance, but he also blew it. But I think the Padres really need to keep this Tatis. I think he's got a lot in store for them, and who knows even if they were PEDs or not. No, I'm not saying I'm a Tatis fan or not, but I don't know why you would go after Xander Bogaerts when you have supposedly one of the best shortstops in the game. I thought that was a little bit silly.
Well, Ben, the Padres are the big losers at the winter meeting so far. They
So
wanted
far,
Trey Turner, too. They wanted Trey Turner as well.
This is true, but we have to remember, too, that they also won the trade deadline. So they have all these guys ramped up from last year. Soto had an off year. I don't know why. First of all, I don't know why Soto's winning all these all MLB things, batting .250. I think that's a little bit ridiculous. But we got to remember, too, that Soto's a generational superstar. They got him last year. The Padres are retaining a lot of their pitchers, I see. They re-signed that big reliever to a 5-year deal. I forgot his name. Very
Hader?
early on.
Josh Hader?
No, not Hader. There's another relief pitcher, not a closer. But they signed him long term. You got to remember that the Padres are fighting to not be 9 games behind the Dodgers right now, and I don't know. I thought the Bogarts thing was a little silly.
I mean, is that you just read that on Twitter?
Yes, your speaker Dan on before, Suarez was his name. That's correct. Yep.
Oh, Suarez, that's right.
I mean, that's a good point. So what would that lead you? I mean, they're saying that Bogaerts is going to go back. It's pretty much in the bag that Bogaerts is going to go back to Boston. That's what they said this afternoon. But if you're reading this now, I mean, obviously there's stuff out there. I mean, right there you got Correa out there. That's technically a shortstop. You got Bogaerts out there. You got Dansby Swanson is still out there. I mean, Didi Gregorius is still out there. I just like him.
You also did you say Correa as well?
I did. Yes, I did.
You did? Okay. Yeah. So I was reading on the Dansby thing too, and Chicago is after a shortstop, which is a bit odd.
Wow.
Being that I don't know if they're trying to win. I don't know what they're doing. If they're trying to build around someone, but I'm not sure. I'd rather see Dansby Swanson go to the Cubs, get him out of the NL East. If you know what Murph. I don't want Dansby.
I think, listen, Ben, between me and you, Ben, I think Dansby Swanson is a little bit better than mediocre baseball player, but he becomes an absolute stud when he plays the Mets.
Well, we have to deal with Trey Turner for how many years? 11 years. So I thought Francisco Lindor was the best shortstop in the NL East long term, but now we have some
guys. Can I interrupt? So everyone's making fun of his Judge contract, but what about the Trey Turner contract? Everyone's saying it's such a great contract. Him and Bryce Harper with the Phillies for the next 10 years or so. What do you think about that?
How old is Trey Turner? Can you guys tell? How old is Trey Turner?
He's 30. He just turned 30.
He's 30 years old.
Oh my God! I don't know, man. What's going to happen with these contracts? I mean, again, we went back and talked about him before. It's like, that's a lot, dude. He's going to be 41 years old when that contract is up. I understand. I understand that the deal has to get done, and I understand that is what it is. But at some point, some guys got to turn around and say, you know what? Give me a 5-year deal worth $200 million, or lump all my money in within 5 years. Well, I guess I don't understand. I guess I understand what the longevity is a difference, but you're getting roughly the same amount of money in a short period of time. I don't know. These long-term contracts never work out, man. Never.
Speaking of the Padres before, the Phillies are another team who are trying to get out of the third place slumps. We saw it year after year. It's always, Braves, Mets, Braves, Mets, Braves, Mets. You throw the Phillies in there too. But after this past season, they win the pennant and all that jazz. But I think they're really trying to play for a World Series again, which is why they're signing Turner. They're signing our guy Taijuan Walker. First of all, I'm going to boo the crap out of him the next time I cross paths with him at a Citi Field. I just wanted to make that clear. But they're signing all of these guys. I think they're really trying to contend with these Mets and Braves. And the NL East is a scary division. I mean, Marlins and Nationals aside, we're just like the NL West. You got the Dodgers, Padres, Giants. You got the Mets, Braves, Phillies.
What about the American League East as well?
Hey, listen, Ben. Tell your dad that they were talking National League here. That he could talk American League in a minute.
I'm going to start my own show.
Ben, but to your point though, Ben, the Phillies scare me, dude. They just they got a new manager who's obviously willing to just coach the shit out of that team. He's maybe he was a little hurt by not getting a contract from another team that we won't mention, but I don't know, man. Like, they seem ready to go, dude. Harper's could possibly win 2 more MVPs. Turner could win an MVP. Wheeler, forget Wheeler is there. Wheeler coming from the Mets, who's pitching well there. I don't know. I mean, they're going for it, dude. They worry me more than even Atlanta.
I also have more a concern of the Phillies going into this next season, just because of who they're signing and what they're doing with their team. Rob Thompson's an incredible manager, especially leading their team to the World Series. I think he should have been. I think Buck should have been the manager of the year, first of all, from taking a negative record Mets to a 100-win team. But Rob Thompson should have been a nominee over Dave Roberts. I'm sorry. Dave Roberts had no reason to be a
110%. Dave Roberts had no reason to be with that team elected manager of the year. No way should he been, anybody could win 100. I could have won 103 games with that team, Ben.
It's like the guy that coaches the Harlem Globetrotters, dude. No, that guy should not be. No, he should not be the manager. You get anybody to coach that team. Like your father just said, like we could get me and you goes, you could be my bench coach and we can win a World Series. We could probably win more World Series than David Roberts did with that team.
Oh yeah.
Speaking about bench coaches, how the hell did Don Mattingly go to Toronto? I mean, didn't I say a couple of episodes ago, Rich, that Aaron Boone needed that bench coach like Don Zimmer was for Joe Torre, basically? I mean, that's what the Yankees need in that dugout. They need that bench coach. But I don't know how he escaped to Toronto. But carry on, Ben. Sorry.
Oh, I forgot what I was saying. You carry on, EDUBBS.
Really?
Oh, you
wow.
tell it, Ben.
No dinner for you tomorrow.
But it's listen. The hot stove this year is fantastic. What's going on? We you know what else? This is
Rich. Did you see the Red Sox? The Red Sox spent money today. Did you see that? They signed Kenley Jansen and they signed that guy out of Japan too. They gave him like a 5-year, $90 million contract.
What is
Matsusaka Yoshida?
Is that the biggest contract for a Japanese player besides Ichiro? Position player besides Ichiro?
Yeah. It's more than Ichiro got. Yes, Ben. Yeah, crazy, right?
What's weird to me is it's I guess it's out of the country. It's like they had to pay a $15 million posting fee to the Oryx Buffaloes. I guess that team he played for over there in Japan.
Well, the Yankees had to do that too with Matsui. Yeah, that's the rule. You got to pay a posting fee or something like that. So that's been around for a while now. But to get a guy over here from there, but $90 million for a guy who's never played in the major league, that's a pretty good payday, right?
Yeah, it's 5 years, $85 million, 15 plus 15. The 15 million is the posting fee. But yeah, he's going to play the outfield out there in Boston. I think Boston's a good place for a Japanese baseball player to go.
I thought he was going to sign with the Yankees. The Yankees, he could have played good left field for them and stuff, But you never know how these guys going to fit in, Rich. Right? I mean, he just might. I mean, is he going to play left field with the monster?
Why do you think Cody Bellinger got a 1-year deal with the Cubs?
To show that he's probably doing like a Judge type thing to gamble on himself to get a bigger contract next year. And Wrigley Field's the best park to do it in, I would think.
That's the easiest place to probably hit a home run. I mean, Yankee Stadium's pretty easy as well. Don't get me wrong, but Wrigley Field has those little scoop-in chain link fences. It's like a basket in basketball. The ball just lands right in that little net thing. And
but if the wind's blowing in, you're not hitting home runs. The wind has to be blowing out.
There's a very good Twitter account. I encourage everyone to check it out. It's called Will It Dong, and they have some sort of algorithm, computer algorithm, whatever. But they track every single long ball, home run, sac fly, anything near the wall, and it will tell you how many feet it traveled, and it will tell you how many stadiums that ball would have gone out in. That's a pretty interesting little stat sheet to take a look at, because you could see some of these lucky, I hate to bust your balls, EDUBBS, but some of these lucky home runs that the Yankees get only go out in 2 stadiums, Yankee Stadium and Wrigley Field. It's a pretty interesting little Twitter page to look at.
Yeah, and
First
look
of
at
all,
the Chicago Bulls in Baltimore this year to left field, where they bought they put the fence out in Baltimore, and they would be like, oh, that would be a home run in 29 of those stadiums out of the 30 stadiums. So yeah, I've seen that.
You guys are obviously very social media savvy. What do you think about I know it wasn't Major League Baseball. What do you think about the story that came out that there was 3 different baseballs that they were using? Did you read
So
that story?
the Yankees had a different baseball, right? Of course.
No, listen. Don't laugh. The Yankees are one of the teams that they're accusing of using a baseball during Judge's run. I'm sorry.
Wow.
It's not a story that was we know who put it out. That SABR, the Sabermetrics, I guess, or whatever it is. They said that there's proof that Major League Baseball. Now, look, the story goes. Don't let it be confused that the players, the owners, like they did not know that this was being done. So, in other words, the Yankees didn't know that there was juice baseballs being used. Say it's the Yankees. I'm just using that as an example. Major League Baseball would throw in some juice baseballs when Aaron Judge was up, just because they wanted to see him hit the home runs because it's the big pomp and circumstance. They said that they would use dead-end balls when they want a pitcher. Like I said, if they wanted a pitcher was going to go for wins or strikeouts, or they would use a more attackier ball, like when they, so. Right now, the story really has no weight, but I mean, it's a reputable company that put it out. I mean, what happens if the teams and the players had nothing to do with it? Kind of like the deflated ball. It's kind of like saying that Tom Brady didn't know the ball was deflated, but you could feel the ball. You actually hitting the baseball. But if Major League Baseball did it and the teams and the owners didn't know, but Major League Baseball did it just to pump up the ratings.
I hate to play devil's advocate here, Rich, but they've been coming after the Yankees for garbage like that for years, and none of it has been proven true. I hate to play devil's advocate because, I'm a big Mets fan, as you know, but they've been doing the same garbage with the Yankees for years. They say they cheat in the National League Championships because they haven't made the World Series in, over 12 years.
That hurt.
But they've been coming after the Yankees for all this bogus. So who knows if it's even true or not? If it's just John Heyman spreading his garbage all over the internet like he does.
That's another thing too. Heyman's about this day and age. That's what sucks about this day and age too. Is even now with this thing, what's going on with Twitter about with the checkmark thing. I don't think anybody realizes how annoying that is.
It's crazy.
My son just did a paper for his. My son just did a paper for college. He got a good grade on it, but his whole thing was: should social media be censored or not censored? Me personally, I don't think anything should be censored. We should be able to say and do whatever, or say whatever the fuck we want. But his whole thing was anybody could. You see, how many people when a big story's about to break like this on Twitter or something, and you got to go through 100, Joe Smo from Kokomo and my mom's basement and these nuts talking about fake stories, and then you finally get to the real one. It kind of it defeats the purpose of Twitter. I mean, I understand, but the whole blue checkmark thing is supposed to be a thing all right, you go to the blue checkmark. All right, this guy knows what he's talking about. Listen, reading, these nuts and Joe Schmo from Kokono's messages and their remarks and their tweets, hysterical. But when I want to hear something that's going on for real, I want to see a real blue checkmark. John Heyman should have his blue checkmark taken away.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. With that crap that he pulled last night, unreal.
Are you still that excited to get that first story out? Do you still have a heart on at 80 years old to get that story out and be the first guy? Or are you kind of hey, good for you, kid, you got that story out?
I think these guys love to do it, Rich. I don't know where they get their sources from, but it's either Jeff Passan or John Heyman or Adrian Wojnarowski in NBA and stuff. These guys love getting those rumors out, basically.
Yeah, it's a really, really. The internet's a crazy place now. You could just again, it's fine. Listen,
did you see?
And I'm not.
Did you see what John Boy did? He posted a picture of Heyman afterwards, and Heyman's standing in the corner playing with his phone. Everyone's talking to each other. Nobody's talking to him. He looked like a lost soul, basically.
Did he respond to that? I'm curious, to see how these guys respond. When you think about what's his name, how Francesa, how he responded when he was caught sleeping, or he would, I never did that. A lot of these guys, with these older guys, they should have a fucking sense of humor about themselves. Because you know what, though, if Heyman would have just came out and said, "Oh, I'm like an old geezer and I made a mistake," or listen, I know he will never be discredited because he's who he is. Instead of saying,
he spelled the name wrong. He couldn't even spell Aaron right. He put arson judge.
I know. But that's the thing. He could have went a different way and just started joking about it, but instead he starts backtracking, deleting tweets. You're not 24 years old. You don't have to do that anymore. You made a fucking mistake, dude. Whatever it is. You took a stab. You took a shot. Like, some people take shots in their job, and that's how they succeed. Now, what happens if that was true? John Heyman is all over the place being a star. He broke the story. Look at this guy. He's John Heyman. Remember when he broke this story? Remember when he broke that story? He was there for Aaron Judge. No, he did what a lot of these guys do. They throw a story out there hoping it's true. And then when it's not, they backpedal and they get scared and they think they can lose their job and they get discredited. And there's too much just throwing shit out there. If you throw shit out there, at least be a man to say, hey, listen, I was just throwing it out there. At least be a man and say that. Don't try and backtrack and try and say that, you did it for this reason, that. Just, own it. Own it.
Speaking of blue check marks right now, Murph, I have some bad news for the Mets. This is coming from Jacob Resnick. It appears he's SNY and MLB Pipeline. Jake Mangum, the highly touted Mets prospect, is heading to the Marlins to complete the trade for that relief pitcher Hernandez. I don't know if you've seen any highlight reels from Mangum at Syracuse, but he made some Willie Mays catches this year. Ridiculous player, very athletic, good Gold Glove outfielder, and I'm very upset to see him go. So I don't know if you've heard of him or not, but this is not the greatest scenario to see happen. Because
was he a top 10, Ben? Was he a top 10 prospect in the Mets organization?
Absolutely. He was estimated to come up probably this year for the Mets.
Wow,
but when you think about when you're thinking about prospects, right? They're prospects for a reason, and I understand that they're young, they're prospectively they'll be good. That's pretty much what a prospect is, I think that there's never a sure thing prospect. So listen, it's got to be the right deal. But if you're saying if Shohei Ohtani comes calling and they want to our top 5 prospects in our entire organization for Shohei Ohtani and Jeff McNeil or whatever, I'm making that trade because prospectively 5 of those kids are going to be good. We know Ohtani is the best player in baseball. So I mean, I don't know. When you think of the prospects, I understand. But again, I go through the school of don't look back, and hopefully the kid does good. Ben, you know what? And you're a realistic Met fan. Do you know who I get into arguments over on social media all the time? Met fans still talk about Kelnick.
Oh my God!
What a superstar he's going to be! And do you realize that Cano's not even on the team? Do you realize Diaz is the best closer in baseball?
You were talking about how the Pirates were a quadruple A team. Jared Kelenic is a quadruple A player. Jared Kelenic will beat your ass in a triple A game. He Seattle Mariners triple A's Tacoma. He will hit home run after home run after home run.
Because he can't have a curveball. He can't hit a curveball.
But when he gets to Seattle, all hell breaks loose, and he's batting sub 100. So yeah,
and he's crying in the dugout when they lost.
At the time, I was.
Unfortunately, Ben, he may win a World Series he may win a World Series with Seattle before the Mets do.
Oh God.
Hey guys,
and if it's against the Mets, Jesse Winker is going to wave at us. Oh no, he's not on the Mariners anymore.
He's in the Brewers. Yeah. Hey guys, how much you think Ohtani gets when he hits free agency? If Judge gets 40, how much you think Ohtani gets?
$50 million a year.
How about 60? Because he pitches too.
I don't know. I think he's getting $50 million a year, dude. Without a doubt, no doubt in my mind.
Well, to close out my time on here, I'd just like to say that Shohei Ohtani will eventually be a New York Met next year.
I think the Dodgers.
And from your mouth to God's ears, I agree with you 100%. And Shohei Ohtani will be a New York Met next year. But that's way in the future.
Way in the future. We don't have to worry about that for a while, though.
I agree. I definitely agree with you, dude.
All right, guys. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks again, Ben.
You know that. Visit. I'm glad that the technology is working tonight.
Yes, I sound better, right? Guys, where's the feedback? Do I sound better tonight? We kind of mix things up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
Yeah.
sound.
I'm the official IT guy of the MURF and EDUBBS sports show.
Yeah, your paycheck's in the mail.
Yep. Direct
Get the hell out
deposit.
of here.
I'm waiting for my
Well,
direct
yeah,
deposit. All right, guys. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks,
anytime,
man.
anytime, man.
Thank you.
All right.
Wow.
I think we covered baseball pretty much like a glove. I think tonight we covered the Mets, the Yankees. We covered see what else we got here. Dansby Swanson. We covered Bogarts a little bit.
Rich, I want to go
Joey
over
Gallo.
one more thing. Now, here's an interesting signing. Wilson Contreras signed with the Cardinals, leaving the Cubs. Like that would be like a Yankee going to the Red Sox. Red Sox going to the. I know Johnny Damon came from the Red Sox. Wade Boggs came from the Red Sox. Roger Clemens came from the Red Sox. I mean, this is like that type of deal. And I know those two fan bases hate each other, the Cubs and the Cardinals. But that's a great pickup. You're going from Molina to another All-Star, Contreras. That's a great pickup for the Cardinals, I think.
I think you know what I think. I think that was let's call it a legacy move, or let's call it like St. Louis. If you want to be a catcher, you go to St. Louis, dude. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, Joe Torre, Darryl Porter, all these guys came from St. Louis, yeah.
Do you agree with me? It's like, I understand the whole Contreras is coming to the end of his string, and St. Louis is going for it. Obviously, they have two of the best position hitters in baseball, but two potential MVPs. One of them did win the MVP. They're obviously going for it every year. And him going to St. Louis, I think him going to St. Louis is a good move. Molina walks out the door and Contreras comes in. Contreras isn't Molina, but why not? I think that was a good move for them, man. Very good move. Now,
Well,
who's going
thank
to catch for
goodness St.
Chicago?
Louis. Yeah, thank goodness St. Louis, because Houston was at his door as well. So it's like, I'm so tired of the Astros. But you know what, though? I heard Dusty Baker the other day on the radio, and I kind of feel happy for Dusty Baker. I mean, Dusty Baker was through he went through the ringer and stuff. And, Dusty Baker had a very good point. And I'm going to put this out there to everybody, what Dusty Baker said. Dusty Baker's father said to him in 2002, when they played the Angels, he said, "This is your last chance to win a World Series, son." And that was the criticism the father gave. But you can't tell it to the players anymore. Back then, giving negative criticism was accepted. But can you imagine a manager saying to a player now, "You stink"? I mean, the player's going to be crying, going home to his mother and stuff. But that's what Dusty Baker's father told him, that he would never win a World Series. But you know what, though? I'm happy for the guy. The guy's going to go into the Hall of Fame. He's been a hell of a manager. And just to hear him on the radio, he was thrilled.
You know who his best? You know who his best boyhood friend was?
Who, Dusty Baker?
Yes,
Bobby
Bonds.
Oh, I was going to say Bobby. Yeah, Barry Bonds. That Bobby Bonds is. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's he managed in San Francisco and stuff, and he fit well over there. He managed Barry Bonds too and stuff. So,
I got no reason to hate on Dusty Baker either. I got no reason to hate on the Houston Astros. You're absolutely right about that. That's a great story, dude. Dusty Baker winning the World Series is a big deal, man. It really is. It's great for baseball. It's great for the old time managers too, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe Buck's next, right?
Yeah, maybe. Oh, hey, I see my sister Megan. Megan Murillo is there. Hi, Meg. Just want to say hello to you. I know you're not a big sports fan, but thanks for checking in.
Big following tonight. A lot of people checking in tonight on this Hump Day edition of the MURF and EDUBBS show.
Yeah, man. Like I said, after Christmas, Eric, like I said, that's when I got the new equipment coming. So that's when the MURF and EDUBBS show is going to take another step. In the new year, we're going to have a lot of good stuff coming because I got some new equipment coming, dude. So we're going to be getting some video involved. You're going to have to get a haircut every week. We're going to have hair and makeup for you.
Oh, my God. I have to shave. Do I have to shave? Oh, my God. Hair and makeup? I don't have any hair to begin with.
You're going to have to get somebody for wardrobe. We're going to have to get, it's going to be it's going to be a big deal. We're going to have to pick out a live venue to do. We're going to be stars soon. And like I said, we're going to take all these people with us. Like I said, more and more people are listening. Like I said, my sister Megan, she doesn't even like sports. But you know what, though? She's listening to her big brother talk.
Yeah, we got to go. We got to go live on Christmas Day, Rich, when I eat my Chinese food. We got to go live.
No, Eric. That's when we're doing our basketball show, dude. I thought we talked about that.
The Buccaneers play on Christmas night. I forgot. They play the Cardinals on Christmas night, so we can transition into Tom Brady on Christmas, huh?
That's what I was. No, that's all honesty. I thought I spoke to you about this. I honestly think we should do an early. We should do an early an NBA show. We don't get much into the NBA, but I think Christmas Day is a great time to do the NBA.
Yeah, because all people watch is the Yule log anyhow, right?
Yeah, I'm a Christmas Eve guy, and Christmas Eve is Christmas Eve is pretty special in our family, right, Meg? And then once Christmas Day comes around, once the kids open up their gifts, and my kids are 18 and 15 now, almost 16, so Santa Claus thing is Santa Claus is still real in our hearts, but Christmas isn't like getting up at 4 a.m. and the kids go, Santa Claus is here, but they open up the gifts and then we hang out and
Yes,
we
the
have some
Christmas
dinner.
story. The Christmas Story, great movie. Love that movie. Dan put it
Do
in
you really?
in the chat.
Do you really love it, or are you just being facetious? Because I love that movie.
Oh no, it's one of my favorite movies. I love it. I love it. It's great.
I have been trying to find some
Especially the
audio.
end. Especially the end.
Yeah, I've been trying to find some audio of you saying you love something, and I finally got it. I got to isolate this audio and hit it out pronto.
Oh, Rich, I like a lot of things though. You never touch on them, but I like a lot of things. I like Aaron Judge.
Hey, E, listen. I got what do you call it? We covered all this. We covered all the baseball. We're in about an hour and a half now. Now, do you want to do our picks? Because we didn't do our picks last week, dude.
I didn't even write them down for today. Maybe we could do them Friday. I didn't even write anything down or take a look at anything yet. But we were just so hyped up about this episode 22. But you know what? Did we ever talk about what's big about the number 22, Rich? Did we ever do that?
No, we didn't go into the 22s yet. All right, so wait, let's. So you want to do our picks Friday night then?
We'll do the picks Friday night. We'll talk football Friday night. But the number 22, and I know you were on Ticketmaster getting Taylor Swift tickets, so she sings the song number 22. Did you hear about that debacle with the tickets, Rich?
I did hear about that debacle, and who's at fault at that, dude? I mean, there was thousands and thousands of dollars for tickets to go see Taylor Swift. Who's at fault there? Is it the secondhand market? Is it Taylor Swift? Is it why can't? Now let me ask you a question. Why can't somebody like Taylor Swift at the end of the day say, "What are you guys doing? $90,000 to come see my concert?"
She doesn't care.
I know she won't, but I don't know, man. And who is it? The Swifties. The Swifties were livid. Thanks, Steph.
Is that like the monsters who follow Lady Gaga to Swifties?
Thanks, Steph. I didn't know they were called Swifties, but thanks. Now I know. See, you learn something new every night on the MURF and EDUBBS show. I love it. I don't know, and that started a long time ago. Remember a long time ago when I don't know how many concerts you used to go to when you were younger, but
hey, Rich, Rich,
yeah.
I hate concerts.
Yeah.
Hey, no, here's something better. We got a lot of people out there tonight, so I'm going to put this out there. I'm the only person from New Jersey that hates Bruce Springsteen, I think, right?
I know. No. My buddy Vinny has complete disdain for Bruce Springsteen.
Wow.
I'm talking disdain for him.
Wow.
He is from Jersey. Has disdained for him. It's unbelievable. He's a disgrace to the state of New Jersey.
He is. I hate kids. My high school graduation was at the Garden State Art Center, which is now the PNC Art Center. So I was there you go. Your sister agrees with me. I hate concerts.
But what about that? What about that? Hey, you know what?
Listen. Here's about concerts, right? You go to the concert starts at 8:00, but the performer doesn't come out until 9:30. It's like, what's with that?
Exactly. But I have, what do you call it? You want to hear something funny? There are two people on this right now that my sister and Orbs both lost their sneaker at a fantastic concert that we all went to. I don't know if Orbs and Megan remember that, but we went to the Limp Bizkit and Godsmack show up in Albany, and my sister Megan in the mosh pit. I brought her into the mosh pit, and she lost her sneaker. And if I remember correctly, I think Kevin lost his sneaker that night too. It was Kevin's birthday, December 11th, and we went down to go see that concert. It was an amazing concert. And what do you call it? And my sister had the shoe on this her sneaker hanging up on her wall for years. It was that
Wow.
was a great time. But
Wow.
EDUBBS, the point I'm trying to make,
Yep.
concerts are fun. I went to Woodstock in '99. I went to a lot of concerts, man. Concerts are a good time. Well, they were a good time. I don't know what I haven't been to one in a long time, but there's a couple of guys that are about to maybe fall off the face of the earth that I'd like to go see for the last time. But concerts are
Taylor
fun, man.
Swift. Taylor Swift.
I'd go see Taylor. There you go, right, Orbs? Oh, DMX. That's right. DMX got arrested that night and didn't perform. It's so funny.
Applebee's.
Oh my God, Kev, we go way back, Orbs. We go way back, right, Meg? Anyway, all righty. So, what do you think, dude? We're an hour and 38 in. We're talking about concerts. We got some Christmas memories I want to discuss in the next couple of days.
Bruce Springsteen. Nope.
I don't know if I could. I have to. You know what it is? I can see why some people don't like Bruce Springsteen. You know why? The only reason why I say that is
It looks
because
like Rich. It
he's
looks like
very political.
It looks like he smells like cheese. I just can't stand him. He just irritates me.
Yeah, but even if he smells like cheese, he can play the goddamn guitar and he sings. I mean, he tells great stories. I don't know, dude. I don't know if I like the fact that you don't like Bruce Springsteen.
It's all
So, friend of mine,
politics. Shut your mouth and sing.
yeah,
We say,
that's kind of
just put the
yeah.
ball. You know, I hate that. Enough with these people. They think they could change the world, Rich, but they don't.
Yeah.
Maybe donate some of your money, donate your millions to something. You know, put some meals on some table for. Do something.
MURF and EDUBBS show is going to change the world, one episode at a time.
we're gonna be pioneers, Murph, right?
Exactly. What do you
But,
think's going to happen tomorrow? Give me a prediction. Any signings tomorrow?
Yeah, I think Rodon gets signed tomorrow. But the winter meetings are over. But I think Rodon gets signed tomorrow. That's my prediction. How about you?
I think something's going to happen with Nimmo. I think in the next day or two. And to be honest with you, I think the Mets he's going to come back to the Mets. And I do think that the Mets are going to make a surprise. I be keeping your eye on for JD Martinez. I think that might be something that might. I think JD Martinez might be coming to the Mets. I don't know. I haven't read anything really. I just have a feeling. I think he fits that Met lineup perfectly.
Yeah,
So,
Correa might be a possibility tomorrow too, Rich. Carlos Correa might be a possibility.
Yeah, well, like I said, we'll definitely have a lot to discuss on Friday night. You know what it is?
I got
Friday
another
night,
prediction. Another prediction tomorrow. EDUBBS will be working at home tomorrow. How's that?
EDUBBS will be working at home tomorrow. Yes, you know we got. You know what it is? I get up early in the morning and I look at the newspaper and I just want to get on live sometimes and start talking about what's going on in the news. We can't talk about that now because I'll go on for hours. But I think that'll be a good show. I think if any of you guys out there, let me know if anybody would like to join me maybe on a Friday morning and just like read the newspaper and just bitch about politics. Anybody out there? Shoot me a text or shoot me a little thing there. I don't know.
Can the Amish Outlaw call in?
What's up?
I think the Amish Outlaw wants to call in.
Yes, we're getting ready to. Yeah, he give him a couple of minutes. I got we're about an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah, Amish Outlaw can call in. What has he got to discuss with us this evening? I know EDUBBS wants to go to sleep soon.
Here he is. Is he calling in?
Yes, he is. Let's see. Amish Outlaw.
Can you hear me?
Are you there?
There he is.
Well, hello, boys.
Amish Outlaw, what's up, dude?
Hello, sir.
Amish Outlaw, are you there?
Get the bike going. He's got to get the bike going in the yard. Mo's got to get the bike going.
All right, well, we had the Amish Outlaw. I like his new logo, too, man.
Yeah,
he's got a really cool logo.
Amish Outlaw dropped off, huh?
All right, well, listen. Amish Outlaw, if you're around tomorrow morning, text me tonight. I want to talk shit tomorrow morning live. If you'd like to talk to me tomorrow morning, I would love it. I'm looking for someone to do a show with in the morning. So let me know if you'd like to. So listen, hour and 42 minutes in. I think we're talking in circles now, bud. If we're not going to move on to the NFL, let's catch it in for tonight, and let's let these people. People got work tomorrow. You got work tomorrow. So why don't we say goodnight to all these lovely people? Thank everybody for for joining us, and we have some new followers tonight. Some people that I know very well. Thank you for enjoying, for joining in on the show. And listen, when we get more, why don't some of you guys that listen to our show that aren't the big sports fans, why don't you throw out a couple of topics you'd like to discuss that may be sports related, not sports related. Me and EDUBBS could talk about
food. How about food? I always love food, right?
We could talk about music. We could talk about anything you guys like. Why don't you guys drop some? If anybody's out there, and you really want to talk about something, why don't you drop it in on our Instagram or on our mostly our Instagram, because that's what we'll follow. If anybody wants to talk about something other than sports on Friday night, I can get into anything, and I know EDUBBS can. We'll give people a little spotlight to talk about anything. One of these ladies out there, if they want to talk about anything but sports, or if they want to talk about sports, I would love to hear from them. So. Alrighty, so
I just want to, before we end tonight, I just want to put out a disclaimer. I did something wrong on Thanksgiving. I kind of made a mistake on our football picks. I said we have the Amish Law and his audit team doing some audits on the picks, and I actually told him he was wrong. It was 3 games. I kind of there was a text, and I actually said it on the podcast that he was wrong, and I take that back. And I like to fully apologize to the Amish Outlaw for my, I kind of sound like Jessica Hahn and what's his name back in the day, Jim Baker, with the apologies and stuff. But I just want to apologize to the Amish Outlaw of what I did, and it will never happen again. And
I want to say one more thing before we sign off. I want to say one more thing while we got some of these people that are live on the air here. I want to promote my boy Doug, my boy Doug's band again. We're going to be I'm going to be there. Eek, I don't know if I could get you out on Saturday night, but Saturday night, December 10th, at a place called Revel 32. It's called Revel 32. It's in Poughkeepsie. Me and my lovely wife will be in attendance, and a bunch of our friends. It's Noise in the Basement is a band that my buddy Doug has been a part of for a really long time. It's a cover band, and they're a really good band. They do a lot of good shows, a lot of good songs. He plays the drums and he sings. The rest of his band, they're very talented guys, and they're a great time. It's $20 to get in the door, and the $20 at the door goes all that money at the door goes directly to charity. And I'm sure there's going to be stuff going on inside as well. But if anybody's looking for a good time on Saturday night, and if they're anywhere near Poughkeepsie, it's called Revel 32. It's Noise in the Basement, and the theme is called Toys in the Basement. All the money is going to go to Sparrow's Nest and the Toys for Tots drive. So it's if you're not doing anything Saturday night, I want to come out and have a couple of drinks with Murph and wife Murph and a bunch of our friends. Come have a drink, come say hello, and listen to a good band and do something good for charity.
There we go.
All righty.
I was just reading the chat. Famous number 22, Andrew McCutcheon, Jim Palmer, Roger Clemens, and rest in peace, Gaylord Perry, who passed away last week.
Yes, he did. Elgin Baylor, too. Yes,
Elgin Baylor. And Emmitt Smith as well.
Emmitt Smith as well, yes.
And for another NBA guy, Clyde Drexler.
I was just going to say Clyde the Glide. Damn it, I didn't say that. All right. Well, on that note, E, it's been fun as usual. We'll get together again, most likely Friday night. Like I said, we'll see how the scheduling goes. Saturday night's so probably Friday night, because I will be at Revel 32 in Poughkeepsie on Saturday night. So we'll get together again on Friday night for another MURF and EDUBBS show. So E, another great show tonight, buddy, and I'll talk to you this week, brother.
Sounds good, Murph. Thanks everyone for listening and our call-ins, and spread the word, guys. We love you.
All right, later, guys. Thanks a lot for everything.
Peace out, everyone. Have a good night.
Later.